So let's take a look at all the stuff that I picked up during town fair. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff here.
Där gäller vad för. Där får de säga så här.
Ja.
Det finns en liten
Du ska ju sett hur det såg ut där för 20 år sedan. Det var säkert 3 gånger större då. Varenda jävla gata liksom runt omkring. Ja, det var bara 10 år sedan så var det minskade varje år.
Oj. Vad synd. Men ändå, ja. Det var väldigt fort då. Folk...
här var Batman på 60-talet.
So what you see here, this mountain of stuff, is all the things that I picked up during town fair. And well, it's just been sitting here for months and months and months, all the way since the end of July. And now it's like closing in on the end towards November. So I'm sort of tired of having it all sitting here. So I need to deal with this now. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to separate all of these things into 2 separate videos. One for the comic books and one for the movies. And some other stuff. So let's go. Let's take a look at the stuff that I picked up. Well, like I said, let's get going. And we're going to start with the movies that I picked up during town fair. And a lot of these movies, I asked them to bring in advance. I put them away at some of the sellers that I know. So they brought the stuff with them to me. What the fuck? So let's start with the movies. And a lot of these movies, actually, some sellers that I knew brought them with them. So I put them away earlier and such. And there's a bunch of stuff that are trades, because I traded in a bunch of stuff, so I didn't pay for everything. And some of the stuff I paid after the fact. So, but whatever. These are the movies, and we're gonna start up with the bangers, I think. Stuff that maybe a bit more of you are interested in. First off, I actually do have a 4K player, or well, I have my Xbox One, and it plays 4K movies. So I picked up an upgrade, and I add to my collection Poltergeist. I love this movie, and I grew up with this movie, so. And I have tons of editions of Poltergeist, and of course I had to have it on 4K. Haven't watched the 4K version yet, but I will get to it. Looking forward to it. So happy to have. This was actually, was this a trade or what is it? But it was rather cheap, like $10 or so. So let's move on to the next one. And then some arrows. These were actually trades. I traded for this one, traded in some stuff that I didn't need. So I picked up an arrow edition of The Exorcist 3, which I love this movie, this is great. Then I actually picked up a Stephen King movie I needed for my Blu-ray collection. And actually, of course, I have this on VHS and on DVD. But I needed to upgrade it. So I picked up the Arrow edition of The Mangler with Robert Englund. I enjoy it for what it is, I like it. So I picked up this one up for my collection. And then this is a used copy of Massacre Gun. Yasuharu Haseba's Massacre Gun. So yeah, picked this one up on a Japanese gangster action movie. Thriller, or what to call it. Massacre Gun. And actually, believe it or not, some Hammer horror upgrades. The Curse of Frankenstein. I believe this was a trade as well. I believe it was $10 it went for, but I traded for it. So The Curse of Frankenstein. This was actually something I picked up. Another upgrade. Hammer horror upgrade. Rasputin the Mad Monk. And I was going to watch some of these for Halloween, but I didn't do so. But yeah, but happy to have some upgrades for these Hammer horror. I love Hammer horror. Hammer horror is some of my favorite horror movies on an era of movie making. Even though it's spanned more than a couple of decades, but still, I mean, I love Hammer horror. So always happy to upgrade. Always happy to pick up some good old Hammer horror Blu-rays. Then this movie was also something I was going to watch for Halloween. Cyst. This seems like a lot of fun. Way back when sometime back when I saw the trailer, when they released the trailer for it, I was like, I need to get that movie. And so I did. But have I watched it? No, I haven't. But Cyst, this seems like a lot of fun, like old school, a little bit schlock cheese horror, a little bit 80s feel maybe, possibly, but a little bit of a retro feel to it. But Cyst, decided to give this is a trade, this is a I traded for this, so I basically didn't pay anything for it. Rings. After all this time, I need to give it a watch and see how it is. So Rings, picked up Rings. And then an anime! I was happy to... I love this movie, of course I do. I love everything, all the Summon Tezuka and Rintaro. Everything Rintaro directed, I love. Katsuhiro Otomo actually worked on the script and such on this, and was a big part of this movie. So Katsuhiro Otomo that did Akira also worked on this. So a nice Eureka Steelbook of Metropolis. And I picked this up for $5. $5. I mean, that's incredible. And it's beautiful, actually. Comes with the DVD and Blu-ray. Those are the wraparound stuff that I saved. There's artwork on the inside. This is the Eureka Steelbook. Let's see here. There's some stuff on the inside as well. Yeah. Not going to take out the rest, but still, very happy with this. It was right in front of me, and I missed it. I'm glad I didn't. No one else picked it up. $5 Metropolis Steelbook. I mean, I must say that this was one of the better finds that I did during the town fair. I must say, even though I did rather good, I think, during the town fair. Then let's move on here. Going onwards to. Actually, now we're going to get into some Anchor-based stuff, and I'm no stranger to these movies. I already own them in various forms. Picked up this double release of The Boogeyman and The Devil's Will Terror. A double Ole Lamel feature stuff, and I already have a Boogeyman Anchor Bay, I believe, but I don't have this double. So I'm very happy. Always happy to pick up Anchor Bay for my collection. Love Anchor Bay, and I still collect Anchor Bay. So The Boogeyman and The Devil's Will Terror. I didn't watch this version, but I actually rewatched The Devil's Will Terror not that long ago. And then an extra copy of the limited edition director's cut of Army of Darkness on Anchor Bay. And well, you can't see the number, but it's 35,583 of 40,000 on this one. And I have so many Anchor Bay editions and so many Army of Darkness editions now, but I always picked them extras up and other variations and such because I love collecting Evil Dead stuff. I love Evil Dead. And this is, of course, a beautiful Anchor Bay. When you get all the physical stuff with it, papers and all of that. And it's pretty nice with the gold case and such. And I love this edition, Army of Darkness. And I love Army of Darkness. Why shouldn't I? More Anchor Bay. Phantasm 4, The Oblivion. Yeah. I have the box set of this, the Anchor Bay box set, not the one with the spear, but the one just with regular. But needed to add these loose ones. So the fourth one and the third one I also picked up on Anchor Bay. Loose copy, and these are the UK ones, so these are different. So I also collect variations and such. And then a little bit better edition of The Crazies on Anchor Bay. And I do have another The Crazies Anchor Bay, but it was a little bit later release and I'm not happy with it. But now I have this one, a better cover, a whole lot cooler. Sweet Anchor Bay. Love it. Let's move on here. Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Also another Anchor Bay, of course. So happy as hell to add these Anchor Bays to my collection. And then let's move on. Oh, these are a little bit dusty. They've been here a while. A snapper case of Poltergeist. So yeah, another edition of Poltergeist, and this is my second snapper case I have. I have another variation of this one. I believe that was the UK, or was it the Swedish? I don't remember, but it's another snap. This is my second snapper case anyway, and I started to, but many years now oh, it's loose here. That's not good. I started to appreciate snapper cases. I love collecting snapper cases. So yeah, which you will see here, because here's another snapper case of a movie that's very important to me, because I was I saw it in the theater. I remember the whole thing before the movie came out, how crazy it was, how everybody was, at least in my family, we were so excited about it. And we bought the drinks, we had our caps, we had our shirts, and we yeah, we loved it. We were very much looking forward to it. We were getting prepared. So I'm sort of, it always has a special place for me. The Michael Keaton Batman, 1989. Yeah. They marked the sort of the end of the 80s and the beginning of the 90s, I would say. It's sort of. But during the late period of the 80s, this was it. This was what everybody was looking forward to. Yeah. So Batman snapper case, an upgrade of, or not an upgrade, an extra DVD copy of Brain Damage, which I love. I love and another. This is the Synapse edition, nice silvery. I do already have a DVD edition of Brain Damage, but I like this edition and I wanted to add it. So yeah, adding this one. And I think, I believe I already have this movie, but with another title and such. But I wanted to pick this up because I like variations and such. So Naked You Die, Antonio Margheriti. I say this movie also has a couple of other titles, and I do have a hard box with this one. So Naked You Die. Syndicate Sadis. I never actually seen this one. Been close many times picking it up, but I always missed it or passed. I ordered it a couple of times, but someone got to it before me. This was a long time ago. But Syndicate Sadis, picked this up on Shriek Show. Yeah. Here's another Italian one. All of those two earlier were Italian ones, of course. Crime thriller and giallo, and here we have another sort of in-between thing, assassination. Emilio Miraglia has directed this one. I've never seen this one. This is actually not that old, this release, but so Assassination picked that one up. And a copy of Dark Star, John Carpenter's early movie. Didn't actually have this on DVD. I have it on VHS. No, I have it on VHS, I believe. Yeah, I still have my VHS. I have it on VHS. But I didn't have it on DVD, so I picked this up for rather cheap. It was a decent price. Dark Star. It is what it is, but you have John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon that made Return of the Living Dead. Of course, and John Carpenter, that needs no presentation. Everybody knows of him. But Dark Star. Monster on Campus. Picked that one up. I traded for this, I believe. I traded for this during the town fair. Jack Arnold, Monster on Campus. Picked this up for my black and white classic horror, sort of old horror collection. Then an extra copy of The Bat with Vincent Price, my favorite actor of all time. And the weird thing is, I'm pretty sure I have an edition of The Bat. And I know I have it in collections and such, but I can't find my loose copy. I looked through my collection, I didn't find it. Because I wasn't going to... Sometimes when I want to save room, I sort of put different editions together to make a little bit of my own special editions, so to say, just to save on space. But anyway, an extra copy, or maybe not an extra copy, since I don't find my copy of The Bat. Vincent Price, and I love Vincent Price, and this is not a bad one. Then we have Vampira, the movie. This is a documentary movie with many interesting famous people. Jerry Only of the Misfits, Forrest J. Ackerman, Sid Haig, Lloyd Kaufman, and probably a couple more. Haven't seen this one, but I'm interested. And then I picked this, like I say, during Town Fair back in summer. I didn't have this in my collection, in my Stephen King collection. Now, of course, I pretty much have almost everything Stephen King in both VHS, DVD, and soon Blu-ray as well. So I needed to add Firestarter 2. This was a trade. It wasn't that expensive either. So Firestarter 2. I don't remember how this was. I haven't seen this since back when it came out on VHS, actually. I know it was on TV as well. But this is sort of a TV movie, from what I remember. But at least it came out on VHS. But anyway, Firestarter 2 Rekindled. And then, yeah, sort of an upgrade. I only have DVD-Rs and such of this, and a crappy copy of earlier. Killer Party. A very, very good movie. Very good. And there's one of the editions that I had. And I had more. This is just one that just because I got it from a friend a long time ago, I just needed this. I wanted to save it just to, honor the memory. So Killer Party. Good one. This was one I picked up very, very cheap. No, I think I got this for free, actually. I didn't even trade. I got it. The seller just told me, take it. So, but the thing is, I don't know how the cut on this is. And this is... I actually watched this in the theater when it came out. I worked there, actually. And... it's flawed, but it's not bad. But it's not great. But I wanted to check it out again. How was it? And what was good? What wasn't good? What worked and what didn't work? I don't remember everything. I remember plenty. But I decided to check it out again. So I picked this. I got it for free, basically. And this was actually one that ended up being my Halloween watch. The Cellar, and I enjoyed it, actually. It has its flaws. It's not perfect, but it's it has something. It has something of its own. So I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good, decent watch during Halloween. I liked the payoff. It was, but before the payoff, there were some slow parts and some stuff that were. They needed something more in this one for sure. But The Cellar, I enjoyed it. So this was a good pickup. A movie that I thought that I have, and I actually seen Calling, but I didn't find it, so picked this one up as well. Zombie movie. Calling. And I already have this, and actually I have a sealed copy of this, but why I picked this up was because of, well, you can tell. The lenticular cover. I know it is a remake, and I know it is not... It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. But I still, I couldn't say no to that lenticular cover. It's just so cool. So, I'll add this instead. And I should have checked this one out ages ago. And I thought that I actually picked it up. The Pool. So now another one that I had to have for my Asian collection. A Mamoru Oshii movie, Avalon. And I believe I watched this sometime, back, but I don't remember exactly how I watched it. But it's Mamoru Oshii, and I love Mamoru Oshii. And back in the day, I was a big fan of the stuff that he was always working on when it comes to anime and sort of live action, the whole Jinro stuff, Wolf Brigade, and all of that. So I had to have this because it's Mamoru Oshii. So whatever. Happy to have this. The remake of The Forbidden Kingdom, that I don't know how it is. I don't know how I heard so many mixed things about this one. But I always wanted to check it out, so finally I can do that. So let's see how it is. as long as it doesn't, you know, take it too far or the CGI becomes too plastically and too gamey like, then I will be fine. And as long as they honor the original somewhat, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. Forbidden Kingdom. And then Roger Corman triple feature with Georgia Peaches, The Great Texas Dynamite, and Smokey Bites the Dust. Another sheepy, but you know, I wanted to pick it up. Yeah. Then we have the 39 Steps, sort of a remake, retelling of the Hitchcock story, based on the same material, but sort of a remake as well. Directed by Don Sharp. I've seen this a long time ago, but it was a very long time ago. Sometimes in the 80s, and I haven't seen it since, I believe. So I wanted to check it out again. And I found it for, you know, I think I traded for this. I traded for it. But you know, I wanted to check it out. I wanted to remember how it was, because it was such a long time ago. The 39 Steps, and I love everything Hitchcock. I love Hitchcock. Hitchcock is one of my favorite directors, and sort of everything beyond that as well, and also these sort of period pieces from, you know, all those Agatha Christie, you know, Sherlock Holmes and all of that, from a certain era of the early 1900s or like late 1800s and such. Very interesting, but of course I do like many other historical eras and such, but there's something about this period, these sort of movies. The 39 Steps, anyway. Citizen Kane, like a double disc edition of, yeah. Of course I needed to have it on VHS and all of that, but I needed to have a disc edition because I didn't have that. And I love Orson Welles, and I haven't watched this movie since I was a kid, actually. But sometime back then I watched it, and I watched it a couple times along the way, but not since I got older. So I've been thinking about, you know, watching it again. It's a good movie, that much I can say. And here we have a Swedish classic, The Ninth Company. Oh boy, a Colin Nutley movie. And I remember so much when this movie came out. Oh boy. Oh, this is well, it's the military, and they start doing business with their own stuff they have in their military company. They start selling stuff and helping people that needs help, but they're using their own equipment, and it sort of starts going wrong. And this is a bunch of crazy stuff, comedy, drama, action. You know, this is really good. A really good Swedish movie, The Ninth Company. Very, very good one. And then another one that I had on my mind for a long time now, and that I actually picked up, well, many times over, but I haven't watched this in a long time. Southern Comfort. Sort of, you could see it as a slasher movie, sort of, if you want to. You know, but it's a very good movie. From what I remember, this was very good. Let's just say there are some people that ended up in a place that they shouldn't be, and they start getting killed. It's sort of very Deliverance-like, and very slasher-like. But yeah, I needed to check this out again. Also another movie that I haven't watched in a very, very long time, so that's actually why I picked it up. You know, yes, it probably has a Blu-ray release and all of that, but the DVD was there, and it was decent priced, so I was like, okay, yeah, I want to check it again. I had it on my mind for quite a while, so I want to check it out again. So yeah, Southern Comfort. And then I picked this up for $1. Sealed edition, 3-disc special edition of Dances with Wolves. And you know, yeah, it's a good movie. And I've been wanting to watch it again, and it was there for $1, so why not? You know? Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of memories from this movie. And my uncle is actually was a huge fan. He's a huge fan of this movie, so I sort of, when I think about this movie, I think about him. So Dances with Wolves. I actually picked this up right before Town Fair during a yard sale, sort of it's seen as being a part of the whole Town Fair where I live. So that's why it's here. And at the same time, during the Town Fair sort of yard sale hunt, I picked this up for a very cheap price. I think it was less than $1. These are called the Gnomes, I believe. Here in Sweden, the movie was very popular. Always been seen as a staple, as something that you have to watch every year if you're a Swede, because it talks to so much to our folk belief from our old times, believing in little. They aren't Santas. They are sort of gnomes, and we don't call them gnomes here in Sweden, but they are house elf sort of thing, house Santas. If you don't treat them well, they will make mischiefs in your house and all of that. So you gotta give them their porridge and all of that. And sometimes they will help out with the work and such if you treat them well. But we live in these times now when people forget to put out their porridge for the little gnome Santa guy. And that they don't like that. So you're going to have a lot of things going wrong in your life. But anyway, this is a 3-movie thing set. It's not the main movie, but these are like continuations. So all in one, there are 3 movies of the cartoon gnomes. And I do like the gnome stuff. So I had to pick it up just for less than $1. It was like $50, I believe. 3 movies in one. And I do love the main movie, and I've seen some of these, and they're decent. You know, they're decent. So I picked it up. And an extra copy of a movie that I had so many times over and over. Totoro. I'm a big Ghibli Hayao Miyazaki. In fact, I will be going to the theater in the nearest big town to watch his latest movie, and probably his last. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So Totoro, an extra copy. I have so many copies of this, but I wanted to have this one. It was also a decent price, so I really wanted this one. Love this movie. And love Miyazaki. Love Ghibli. I grew up with Ghibli. I'm an old school fan. Back in the late 80s, I saw Nausicaa. And before that, I didn't even know I was a fan. But before that, when I was even younger, I saw Puss in the Boots and Treasure Island that he worked on. I didn't know, I had no idea back then that he'd worked on it. But I could tell later on that it was his style. For sure, he had worked on it. He had made key animation. That's the thing, key animation and main designs on some of the stuff. But anyway, I'm an early fan ever since 100% since Nausicaa, the first movie they released over here. I rented it back when it came out on VHS in the late 80s. And ever since then I've been a fan, hardcore fan. And not many people have been, but I have been there. And I didn't have many friends that knew what it was, but I always, so I need to be there for his last movie. I need to be there. That's why I'm trying to take myself to that town so I can watch that movie before it's all over. You know, I need to check it out. But love his stuff. And I should have this alone. Also another one. I remember there was a music video back in the 80s when this on TV when this was supposed to come out. And I know that I've seen parts of, or I saw this, but I never had this one. Yeah, but I remember when the music video premiered on a TV channel back in the 80s, and it was the 80s. And I know that I saw it at my grandma's house, and she actually moved away, you know, before the 80s was over, and you know, yeah, whatever. But anyway, I have memories from this one back in the 80s and such, and I didn't have it in my collection. So yeah, it must have been pretty early, some in the mid 80s at least, you know. But it wasn't later, because I know it was somewhere in the mid 80s. It was when I saw the music sort of video or something. Whatever, it was a long time ago. But Rock and Roll didn't have this sort of like the heavy metal movie and such, but not the direction and stuff. But it has, although this has more musical stuff and more rock and more, you know, whatever. But it's sort of along those lines, sort of the in style as well. So rock and roll, had to have it. It's an Unearthed DVD release. So happy to have that and add it to my heavy metal and a couple of others ones similar to it. Maybe Fire and Ice with and such, But rock and roll. And then you're going to laugh, but I love this this series, this cartoon series. I grew up with this one back in the 80s, and rented it and watched it with a lot of my friends, and me and my brother, we love this. And what does it is the evil guys. The evil guys are so funny, and the jokes are so funny. I mean, this is good animation, so good, so fun. I don't care about the rainbows and all the colors. I don't care about that. I care about the stories and the fun characters. I mean, this is fun. I like it. One of the main people that did one of the main voices, we had the opportunity to work with him, especially my brother. Had the opportunity to work with him many times. And you don't know this, but just now recently we released a sound story with him in it. I do one of the voices, my brother does some voices, and and he did one of the main voices. So, but anyway, Rainbow Bright, good times. I love this cartoon, and I'm not ashamed of picking it up for my cartoon collection. Rainbow Bright, good stuff, 80s. And here's some more Rainbow for you, but it's She-Ra. Something I also grew up with, of course, but a little bit later on. But still, I like Masters of the Universe and stuff, and I had to have She-Ra for my cartoon collection. So She-Ra, Princess of Power, also something that we enjoyed watching back in the day. Although a little bit more towards the later half of the 80s than the second half, because then there was Masters of the Universe, He-Man. Then there was She-Ra. She-Ra came a little bit later, from what I remember. At least in our lives, we weren't. Yeah. Before that, we even watched. I believe I watched Black Star before I even knew that there was a She-Ra. Let's say that, because a couple of my first, even though I had Master of the Universe, I also had a couple of Black Stars in the early 80s. But anyway, She-Ra, the Princess of Power. Of course, I have to pick it up. I'm a big Masters fan. I don't care. You can laugh if you don't like cartoons and stuff like that. But I wanted to have it. So anyway, that's not all for the movies, but that's all for the Blu-rays, DVDs, and all that. We're moving onwards to the VHS tapes. Stay tuned.